Hi. Hey, babe, can you give me a thumbs up in the comments if you can hear me and see me? Hey, Tara. Hey, Karen. Get started in a minute. Can somebody give me a thumbs up in the comments if you can hear what I'm saying? You can see me. Alright, I think I got one reaction. Hopefully this is working. Oh, this is weird. Facebook Live has changed so much since the last time I used it. Alright, we'll give people another minute or two. Actually, nah, not too long. Hey, Ruda. Man, it's cold here. Like, what's the weather where you guys are? It's here in South Georgia, it's like 31 degrees, but it feels like 22, which is absolutely crazy for our area. We're talking snow flurries overnight and stuff like that. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. I want to make this quick. Got to go hop on the treadmill and get a few other things done before bed. So, first of all, man, I just wanted to thank everyone for your support. Wow, 1 degree over in West Virginia. Wow, that's crazy. I just wanted to thank everyone for your support during my journey, and quite truthfully, I wanted to go live plenty of times even before surgery, but I just didn't know how people would take it. People sometimes can be mean and cruel, and I really just didn't know how people would take it, and so I kind of backed off. But man, once I made that post on Facebook right before surgery, and when I was able to kind of come out of things and see all of the love and support, and had even some folks who reached out to me who I didn't even know had bariatric surgery of some sort, to give me encouragement and say, hey, if you need to talk, let me know. It was just completely awesome. My story is average. As a little kid, actually, I had problems swallowing. I've got a few pictures. I think I posted one at one time on Facebook where you could see the outlining of my bones. I ate cheese grits and mashed potatoes, and anything much more than that of that consistency really didn't go down well. And so the doctors did a scope, and they said, well, we didn't find anything, and they gave me some iron, and I started eating. And typical Southern diet. Third generation morbidly obese on my mom's side, and second generation morbidly obese on my dad's side. It jumps up on you quick. As a senior in high school, I was 250 pounds. I had beat my asthma that I had encountered at the end of middle school. And even though I was a little heavy, I was healthy. And that was always like the key for me. Yeah, I'm big, but I'm healthy. And you look 10 years later, and now and then I'm 365 pounds. I may have actually been a little heavier than that, but that's the highest weight that I ever saw on the scale was 365. But I imagine there was some time before that I had not weighed, so I imagine that I may have gotten up a little bit higher than that. But again, my excuse was I'm healthy. Not to mention the fact that I had sleep apnea that was uncontrolled, that for a while I slept with a machine and then got out of that business, and didn't use it for a while. And so, the saying is, you kind of just get sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you just hit rock bottom. And in January, I hit that rock bottom. Dad was in the hospital. I was sitting in his room, and I just saw myself laying in the bed. But maybe a year earlier, the doctor had told me that I was pre-diabetic, and if I didn't watch what I was doing, within a year I would be a full-blown diabetic. And I'm about the same age as where my dad's diabetes set in. And, for those of you who don't know, my dad has chronic type 2 diabetes. It's affected just about every organ in his body. His eyes is about the only thing that really hasn't affected at this point. He takes 22 pills a day to stay alive, and he eats, sleeps, and goes to doctor's appointments. And so I saw myself laying there in the hospital bed, and what I realized is that I didn't want that for myself. I didn't want that life for myself, and I didn't want to give Cynthia or our future kids that burden to bear. Dad's been in the hospital 7 times last year, and probably in total 15 ER visits. It's a lot to bear, and so I made my mind up at that point that it was time to get to work. And so I started praying and started talking with Cynthia and family, and started talking with some friends who had various bariatric surgeries, because I really didn't know which one I wanted to do. And checked my insurance, and for the first time in about 8 years, our insurance covered some bariatric procedures, which just was amazing. I'd always promised myself, if I got the chance to do it again, I would go for it. And so I made an appointment to see my surgeon, and really talked with him, and decided that I wanted to start the process for lap band surgery. There was a lot of hoops that I needed to go through for my insurance company. Probably one of the best ones was 6 months of supervised weight loss. And I'll tell you, that was probably the most beneficial to me, because I learned during that time that I was a food addict. I learned when I eat, why I ate, and I learned how to put good food in my body. And I really learned that during that time. It really just, that time confirmed that the lap band was the right decision for me. It was going to be the best long-term fix for me. And plus, I know several people that have done it. I just can't personally see cutting a perfectly good stomach in 3/4 and what happens if you need it later. So the lap band for me is, hey, you can go in, you can pull it out anytime you have a problem. That was a lot more comforting to me than cutting your stomach and things of that nature. But so 8 months actually 7 or 8 months. I started on my dad's birthday on March 1st, and on November 1st, I had my lap band surgery. And in between that time, I lost 45 pounds. So on November 1st, I had the surgery, and we did it outpatient at the hospital here. Because of my sleep apnea, and one of the things I'd done during that time too is got an updated sleep apnea testing and machine, which, man, they're phenomenal these days. I love it. Love my new machine. So that's been awesome. I stayed overnight and developed a 1%, less than 1% actually, post-op complication. So for those of you that may not have seen it on Facebook or whatever, I was in the hospital for 4 days. So what happened? Well, that's the mystery, actually. That's really the mystery. What we know is, as the surgery was finished, and as the nurses were putting the glue on my incisions, I went from dead asleep to thrashing and punching. And I did that for about 5 minutes until they got me settled down. My surgeon said that it scared the crap out of him. It was only the second time in 17 years he'd ever had that happen. And so they got me finished. They got me in recovery, got me settled down. And I couldn't swallow anything. I had a lot of sinus drainage. I had a lot of nausea. And I could not keep anything down. Nor could I swallow very well. And so by the next morning, when they come to check me out, hey Mary, thanks for joining. So the next morning the surgeon comes to check on me, to see, because, routinely I'm supposed to be released. I was on a 23-hour hold. That's a whole nother thing for our crazy insurance company. If you stay 24 hours, it's inpatient. That wasn't medically necessary, but you can stay 23 and it still be outpatient. So they come and check on me. They got my discharge papers ready and say, "Hey, I haven't kept any liquids down." I couldn't even keep a sip of water down. It was so bad. They were giving me every 2 hours. I was getting either Zofran or Phenergan, and nothing was helping. And it was horrible. I felt horrible. Probably out of every 4 hours, I got an hour and a half of relief. And I was miserable. So they started me on some medications through the IV to try to help figure out what was going on. And surgery was on Wednesday, and on Friday, no change. I'm still feeling miserable. I'm still not having relief, thrashing. Hey, Kenny. And so they took me in for a barium swallow. And let me tell you, that is a neat piece of equipment. Neat science invention. You stand up on this machine and they give you something to drink, and they tell you when, and it follows the drink down your body or through your body, and which is absolutely amazing. And so they did that, and they immediately saw the problem. So they took some additional Xrays, and basically what they found was that right at the esophagus, where food and drink should be going down and start going down into the band, it just stopped. It was completely just stopped. And not to get too much TMI, but as we all know, what doesn't go down must come up, and that had exactly been my problem for the last 3 days or 2 days. And the cause of that, they found through the Xrays, was that the band was looking good. It was in perfect position. Everything was great, but something inflamed my stomach to the point to where the band was too tight. And this was causing me not to be able to swallow, keep anything down. So they continued more medication. We upped the medication. They also accessed, for those of you who don't know much about the lap band, I'm going to do some more videos to kind of explain, but the lap bands take feels, and right up in here in my chest is a port where you can put feels in and take feels out as needed to get the right solution. So they accessed my port, and they were hoping that that maybe they had accidentally left some fluid in, because they have to prime the band before they put it in to make sure that's working properly. They were hoping that it was a quick fix. Hey Lisa, hey Virgil, what's up Brian? So they were hoping that was a quick fix, but in my luck, that was not a quick fix. And so that Saturday, my surgeon comes in and he says, well, we've got 3 options. And he says, I've talked with the top experts. I think he said they were in New York, the top lap band experts in the country. They agreed that this was very rare. It was a less than 1% complication. They had very rarely seen it. My surgeon had done over 500 lap bands, and I was the first of it. one for everything, huh? And so the first option was, hey, we can actually send you home with IV and have a nurse come by and switch it out, and we see how you do in a few days. And I said, that's not an option. Number one, I don't feel like leaving this hospital, and number two, I don't want to go home with an IV. I just feel like I need to be here. And so option 2, which would have been the best option, would be to let's go in, let's have a second surgery, or let's go in and let's take your band out and let's put a larger size band in. Although the band that I had in me was of the proper size for my weight, height, BMI, all of those things, but they do make a bigger band. The only downside is you have to put more feel in that to get the best results. But it's a Saturday, and it's Saturday before the Georgia-Florida game, and they're wanting to kind of get the OR closed down, and insurance is not available to approve. So we went with the next best thing. I had a second surgery, and they went in and released the band, and he secured it so that it would not move around and it would be fine in me. And there was really nothing else he could do. Just the stomach was inflamed. There was no other problems, thankfully. Once he got in there, the X-rays and the barium swallow was correct. And so I got into recovery. I had no problems from the second surgery. Got into recovery. Went back to my room. And they brought me a nice liquid dinner. Now, I'll tell you, for someone who hadn't eaten anything since Wednesday, the beef broth wasn't that great, but it tasted great that night. And the tea and and the sherbet and all the soft things that I could have. It was great. I didn't have any more nausea. I didn't have any more thrashing. I could swallow normally. Things were going the way they needed to go. And thankfully, the next day, I was able to come home. I had to continue liquids for about another week and a half when I saw the surgeon, and then he, right close to Thanksgiving, said, "Well, we'll bump it up to soft foods." So I got some parade stuff and had a decent Thanksgiving meal, and so they gave me some medication to really help my stomach. We've taken a lot of stuff. I've taken a lot of stomach medication. Really, the goal was to get my stomach from being inflamed, and so we did that for a little over a month and a half, and then on December the 18th, I went in. I had a third surgery, and that was basically just to go in and buckle the lap band back, and I believe he actually gave me a feel while I was under two, and that all went very, very well. Matter of factly, he was so impressed with how my breathing did from the first two surgeries that we didn't even do it in the hospital. We did it at their surgery center, which was a lot better and a lot more comfortable. And Cynthia brought me home, and then I started recovery. And yeah, I've been on liquids again. I'll be on liquids until Thursday, and hopefully on Thursday I can get off liquids when I go to the doctor. So I haven't had a solid meal. The last full solid meal I had was on October the 30th. So I am itching to move up to soft foods or something, because I am getting hungry. It is, but in total, I've lost, as of my current weight this morning, I've lost just a tad bit over 70 pounds in total since March 1st, 45 before the surgery and the rest after the surgery. I'm feeling good, Lisa. The one thing with laparoscopic surgery is that two things actually. One is gas. They have to expand your stomach when stuffed with gas, so that hurts getting out of you. But also part of it too is you get a unexplained pain in your left shoulder, and so I've had to deal with that. I was actually scared to take the pain medicines that they give me, because so many people they take it once or twice and they get addicted, and that really concerned me. 3 surgeries in a short period of time. So I went more of a natural route on that, and I'll do another live video on Thursday night to talk about that. I know I'm talking about a lot of things fast because I want to get done quickly tonight, but I'm going to do some more in-depth videos on the process and things of that nature. Yeah, Lisa, it's just really something that they know about. It happens. You get over it. But other than that, I feel great. Getting energy back. I'll tell you, it wasn't until this weekend, like, I know I can see the scale and I can see in my face and pictures and stuff that the weight is coming off, but really it didn't hit me until this weekend, when we went and tried on clothes. I mean, literally, my family at Christmas was like, it's time to go shopping. They all gave me money and said, go buy clothes. So that was really, and just seeing, from a 4XL to an XL, from 52 to 40 in jeans. And they're not big boy jeans, they're skinny jeans. So that's been awesome. So I'm really starting to tell a difference now. And that was really encouraging. But so yeah, I'm going to do some more in-depth videos. Yeah, it was fun, and Cynthia will tell you, I do not like shopping. Like, I'll tolerate it if it's for me, but if it's not for me, shopping is not for me. So, yeah, it was fun. For the most part, after a few stores, I was ready to go, and we ended up going the next day to a few more stores. But yeah, thanks. Thanks for all the encouragement. And I'll do some more live videos because I really want to talk about my 6 months of weight loss and some of the things. Man, I learned some great things during that I want to share with you and just continue sharing the journey. And there's a few of you that reached out while I was going through all of this, and you wanted to talk about the journey and about the lap band. So if you want to send me a private message, if you see this and you want to send me a private message again, I'll be most happy to talk with you. I do not regret this decision one bit. Crap happens, and if it's going to happen, it's going to happen to me. So 1% complication. Don't let that deter you. I know many people that's gone through this, no problems. So, yep, definitely, Mary. I definitely want to help others, whether it's to do some type of surgery or not. I definitely want to help others with their weight loss journey. So if you want to send me a message, I'll be glad to help. And I'll be doing more videos, like I said, in the coming weeks, in more detail, how you go about it and some of the things that I learned during the process. So, all right. I think that is all for tonight. I've got to hit the treadmill and get ready for some other things tonight before bed. So, thanks for joining, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.